Have you ever wondered how the most disciplined athletes can lose control in just 1 second and become famous for that moment instead of their achievements? Under brutal pressure and bright lights, anger sometimes slips the leash. Walls get punched, rackets fly, ears get bitten, and history changes instantly. These are the moments when competitive rage exploded so hard the world froze and replayed it forever. Let's count down the most unforgettable angry moments in sports history. Number 10. Serena Williams versus the chair umpire, US Open 2018. Tennis is supposed to be polite, whisper quiet crowds, respectful applause. The kind of sport where even coughing at the wrong time feels illegal. That's why Serena Williams' 2018 US Open final meltdown felt like an earthquake. After receiving code violations for coaching and racket abuse, Serena unleashed a verbal storm on the chair umpire, accusing him of sexism and unfair treatment. The argument escalated so far that she was docked a full game, an almost unheard of penalty at that level. The irony? Serena was fighting for her 24th Grand Slam title while simultaneously fighting the rule book. The scene was uncomfortable, emotional, and historic. Not just because of the anger, but because it ignited a global debate about gender, officiating, and double standards in sports. Number 9. Cristiano Ronaldo smashes a phone, Euro 2020. Cristiano Ronaldo is known for perfection, sculpted physique, controlled image, relentless professionalism, which made his moment of raw frustration at Euro 2020 so jarring. After Portugal's elimination by Belgium, Ronaldo stormed off the pitch. A young fan reached out to film him, and Ronaldo slapped the phone out of the child's hand, shattering the screen and instantly shattering his calm public persona. Ronaldo later apologized and paid for the damage, but the clip spread like wildfire. It was a reminder that even the most controlled superstars can crack when defeat meets exhaustion. Fame doesn't make anger disappear, it just gives it a global audience. Number 8. John McEnroe versus everyone, Wimbledon forever. Some athletes have one angry moment. John McEnroe built a legacy on them. You cannot be serious. Wasn't just a tantrum, it became a cultural phrase. McEnroe's explosive confrontations with umpires throughout the 1980s turned tennis courts into emotional battlegrounds. What made McEnroe unique wasn't just the rage, but how openly he expressed it. He didn't hide frustration, he weaponized it. And somehow, while arguing with officials and questioning reality itself, he still produced elite tennis. McEnroe proved something important. Anger can fuel greatness, but it also ensures everyone remembers the meltdown just as clearly as the trophies. Number 7. Zinedine Zidane's World Cup headbutt, 2006. If sports anger had a museum, this moment would be in a glass case. The 2006 World Cup final was Zinedine Zidane's last professional match, France versus Italy. Extra time, immortality on the line. And then, without warning, Zidane turned and headbutted Marco Materazzi in the chest. Red card, walk of shame, career over. The shocking part wasn't just the act, but the timing. This wasn't a young hothead. This was a legend, a leader, a player who had already scored in the final. One insult, 1 second of lost control, and football history pivoted forever. It was tragic, human, and unforgettable. One of the greatest players ever exited the sport, not with applause, but with disbelief. Number 6. Draymond Green loses control, multiple seasons. Draymond Green doesn't explode. He simmers, boils, and eventually detonates. From kicking opponents to yelling at referees to choking Rudy Gobert during a scuffle, Green's anger has repeatedly crossed the line between intensity and chaos. His suspensions have piled up not because of one incident, but because of a pattern. What makes Draymond's moments fascinating is how thin the margin is. 1 second, he's a defensive genius. The next, he's reminding the league why emotional discipline matters just as much as skill. The NBA loves passion, but only until it becomes dangerous. Number 5. Novak Djokovic hits a line judge. US Open 2020. This wasn't rage like screaming or smashing. This was worse, because it was careless. During a tense US Open match, Novak Djokovic hit a ball behind him in frustration. It struck a line judge in the throat. There was no malice, no intent, but the rules were clear. Djokovic was defaulted from the tournament immediately. The world's #1 player was out, not because of poor tennis, but because of a momentary emotional lapse. Tennis doesn't forgive reckless anger, even accidental. The silence afterward was deafening. It was the ultimate lesson. You don't need to be violent to let anger ruin everything. Number 4. Dennis Rodman versus camera crew. 1997. Dennis Rodman treated boundaries as suggestions. During a 1997 NBA game, Rodman chased a loose ball, crashed into photographers, and then kicked a cameraman in the groin. The result? Suspension, fine, lawsuit. Rodman later claimed he lost balance. The cameraman disagreed. So did the court. Rodman's anger was chaotic, unpredictable, and strangely theatrical. He wasn't just rebelling against opponents, he was rebelling against structure itself. And while fans loved the madness, the league eventually had to step in. Some anger sells tickets. Too much sells court documents. Number 3. Luis Suarez. 2. Mike Tyson bites Evander Holyfield's ear. 1997. Some sports moments are shocking, others break reality. In the 1997 heavyweight title fight between Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, the tension was already boiling. Tyson felt he was being headbutted repeatedly. The crowd was loud. The pressure was immense. And then, in a moment no one could have predicted, Tyson bit Holyfield's ear, hard enough to tear a piece off. The referee stopped the fight. Holyfield stood in disbelief. Tyson appeared confused, angry, and completely detached from the magnitude of what he had done. Moments later, he tried to bite the other ear as well. The fight was over. Tyson was disqualified. Boxing history was rewritten in real time. This wasn't just an outburst. It was rage without restraint, anger with no brakes. Boxing thrives on controlled aggression, but even in the most violent sport, there are limits. Tyson crossed them in a way that stunned the entire world. Decades later, the ear bite remains the ultimate reference point for sports insanity, the gold standard of, how did that actually happen on live television? Number 1. Ron Artest and the Malice at the Palace, 2004. This wasn't just anger. This was chaos unleashed. On November 19, 2004, during a game between the Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons, a hard foul escalated into a shoving match between players. Officials separated them. Things seemed to calm down. Ron Artest lay on the scorer's table trying to cool off. Then a fan threw a drink from the stands, and it hit him squarely. That single moment detonated everything. Artest charged into the crowd, swinging at a spectator he believed was responsible. Teammates followed, punches were thrown, fans jumped in. Security was overwhelmed. The game was effectively abandoned as the arena descended into complete disorder. The NBA handed down massive punishments. Artest was suspended for the remainder of the season. Other players received lengthy bans. In total, over 140 games were lost to suspensions. Careers were altered permanently. The league rewrote security protocols, fan conduct rules, and player behavior standards. The Malice at the Palace wasn't just an angry moment. It was a turning point in professional sports. It forced leagues to confront how thin the line is between entertainment and disaster. it remains the clearest example of what happens when anger meets thousands of people, alcohol, and zero restraint. Before you go, remember, every legendary meltdown started with one bad second. Pressure makes champions. And sometimes it makes moments that live forever. If you enjoy videos where sports, drama, and raw human emotion collide, like and subscribe for more unforgettable moments you won't believe actually happened.